From AccuWeather.com, this is AccuWeather Daily, a brief host-read article. It's weather news in a nutshell. Round after round after round of Arctic air is poised to plunge into the central and eastern states. AccuWeather meteorologists are warning that each outbreak of Arctic air has the potential to bring colder air farther south than the previous round and will lead to a major surge in energy demands and the risk of freeze-related damage in the southern states. The magnitude and extent of the Arctic air will build into the first full week of January and linger through the middle of the month, and will at times affect more than 250 million people living in more than 40 states in the central and eastern regions. Even though each layer of cold coming in may stop short of the most extreme conditions in the past 10 to 15 years, the number of days spent below the historical average will add up in dozens of states from just east of the Rockies to the Atlantic and Gulf coasts. AccuWeather lead long-range expert Paul Pastelok said this could end up being the coldest January since 2011 for the U.S. as a whole. Another key factor as to how far to the south and east the extreme cold weather will be able to penetrate is that multiple storms are forecast to produce extensive swaths of snow and ice from the Great Plains to the Midwest, east, and even into the southern states. Snow cover minimizes the warming effects of the ground and acts as a tundra-like surface for the cold air to expand upon. In the southern U.S., exposed or poorly insulated homes and buildings are at high risk of frozen and bursting pipes, with the potential for major water damage. The persistence and magnitude of the cold can be enough to cause heat pump systems to struggle to keep up. As energy demands increase, the strain on the electric grid could force rolling blackouts. Due to the magnitude and duration of freezing temperatures, cold-sensitive crops in the Gulf Coast states will be at risk from damage. Much of the Great Lakes has little ice cover, leaving the exposed water to warm the Arctic air somewhat. However, persistent cold air will cause the ice cover to increase substantially. As the ice coverage increases, the warming effects of the Great Lakes will be reduced, opening up the Northeast to more exposure to extreme cold. As the frigid air passes over the Great Lakes, it will quickly pick up moisture and result in heavy to extreme bands of lake-effect snow that can bury some towns under feet of snow and massive drifts. And as the bands of snow move around with shifting winds, the snow can move away and then come back in some areas multiple times during the approximately 2-week period through the middle of the month. Periods of stiff winds will accompany the cold blast, and in some cases, the combination of frigid air, wind, and precipitation will push AccuWeather real field temperatures to well below zero for extended periods from the northern plains to the Great Lakes and middle Mississippi and Ohio valleys. Over time, the sub-zero real field temperatures will reach east of the Appalachians and into the Gulf Coast region. The wavy nature of the Arctic air will be conducive to multiple winter storms, unloading vast areas of accumulating snow and ice through the middle of the month. The storms will vary in intensity and cover, but at least a couple of them can be so extensive and heavy as to result in major travel disruptions. Snow and ice will occur in parts of the southern states, and with limited winter storm fighting equipment, extended periods of dangerous travel and school closings could result. But even in the Midwest and Northeast, as the cold and snowy pattern intensifies, disruptions to travel and the potential for school closings will also increase. That's all for now. You can find more stories and regional forecasts at AccuWeather.com, and for your local forecast at your fingertips, download the AccuWeather app. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll be back tomorrow with more from AccuWeather.